First off, let's say hello to you guys. What's going on? I'm the real Cut Gun.
How you doing? Salead speaks.
And today, what we're doing is we're just getting a deeper dive on Salead himself, just for the fact of you guys understand him professionally. I want you guys to know him internally, why he is, how he is, what he is. So let's turn over to you. What's good, bro?
Good to have you.
Yeah, it's great to have you too. So one thing I wanted to say is, what's your earliest memory as just a boy?
Well, earliest memory would have to be honest, the way I grew up, I was definitely bullied a little bit throughout middle school and high school. I would say I did not have a specific friend group that I always related with. I was kind of just the guy that floated around, kind of got along with everybody, but nobody to really connect with on a deeper level, at least.
Right, and so you would say that right now, when you needed it when you were younger, a big bro, are you big bro to some now?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, besides being a blood-related brother, big brother to a younger one that I have, I do like to see myself as like a bit of a father figure or a big bro to others that needed someone that, let's say their father wasn't there for them, you know?
Yeah, and is it more so just a matter of, when I was a kid, nobody told me to keep my chest out, my head up. I'm doing that for the youth now. This is my moral code and it's my finding in life, as if it was God's reason for getting you bullied in the first place.
Yeah, I do believe God gives only his strongest soldiers the most, predicaments and obstacles to overcome.
Right.
And I've definitely had my fair share of obstacles and things which have shaped the way my mindset is to this day, and for the better.
Yeah, I mean, we all see it. We see him, he's well put together, he's a handsome man, put himself nice and jacked in the gym. You know, this guy, there's one thing I will put in. It's a matter of if there's a need for disciplinary, and I mean self-disciplinary, this guy understands it the most. Sometimes I'm watching him cook and stuff, chopping up his steak, his avocado, and his eggs. He waits till the entire meal's finished, he makes it perfectly as he wants it, and then he eats it. He doesn't sit there and cut any corners with that. Now, I think that you implement that a lot in life.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that whatever you do at one thing, you do in everything. And I was never the type to give up or be a quitter because it just doesn't sit right with me. So whether that's the way you present your food from the moment you cook it to the way you eat it, or from the moment you take a task in life, everything is dependent on your character and how you take things, you know?
Yeah, I would say that you have a strong self-esteem. And for guys that you usually see walking around, because we walked through this whole mall today, shout out Woodbridge Mall, Main Event and Friends. When we were walking through this mall today, there's a lot of characters that I was able to spot that were like, okay, he has a lower self-esteem. How would you end up helping them before they even knew that they needed the help?
So I like that you asked that. And everybody, from the moment they wake up to the moment they sleep, they do little things that they might not even be conscious of. Whether it's waking up and looking at your phone for 30 minutes or waking up and going for a walk for 30 minutes. Little things like that, believe it or not, would be a make or break for how someone's character and someone's confidence holds up. So for example, I'll give you two examples. Tony versus Anthony, very different make-believe characters. Tony wakes up, immediately goes for a 30-minute walk, doesn't look at his phone, comes back, checks his email, and then begins cooking. Anthony snoozes his alarm. After he wakes up 20 minutes past his alarm, he scrolls for another 30 minutes. Before you know it, an hour's gone by. Absolutely nothing has happened. Now, that goes a long way in life because little things like that, an hour a day lost, how much is that over a week? 7 hours a week lost. Off little things that could be adjusted, like just going for a walk or eating quicker or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I really do like that. I want everybody here to understand that if you don't account for your time, nobody else is going to. That's another thing that we could circle back to you on is it your responsibility for everything that happens in your life? And would you say you won't want to blame everybody for everything that's happened to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's about the mindset that you have. And the ones that go out and blame everybody else for their own actions, that's a victim mentality. You know, oh, this guy scammed me. Okay, yeah, the guy might have scammed you, but he had the skill set to scam you, and you fell for it. So, you know what I'm saying?
Got his ass.
At one point, you have to look at yourself and be like, all right, I fell through for this. How do I learn from this? Because, yeah, you fall down once, but you don't just fall down and sit down forever. You have to get back up, right? So the moment you take accountability for somebody else's actions and realize, all right, my behavior allowed them to take the advantage of me, or my behavior led me to this outcome, that's the moment you actually start winning, because you tweak things about you that make you a winner, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, 1,000% check. I like the part most when you're like, well, he had the skill set to do so, and he didn't know how to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. When were you able to understand that the people around you makes you?
I definitely learned this at a younger age. I would have to say, for example, back in high school, that moment when you're in high school, you start noticing all these cliques. You know, oh, that's the nerds, that's the jocks, that's the cool kids. I'm sure everybody can relate to this on a level. Now, what were the nerds doing? Nerds. They were going out and studying after class, staying after hours, talking to the professors. And naturally, if those were your friends were, that's probably where you were too. You know, even if it wasn't interesting you probably were with them, hanging out with the professors, meeting up for study hours, being together during lunch, talking about how to get better and do this. Similar to the jocks, they're at the games a lot. Similar to the cool kids, they're probably at parties, they're probably drinking a little bit more often. That being said, the moment I believed my social circle determined my outcome was when I got into content creation and became a coach. At the time, all my friends were also content creators and coaches, and I saw what they were doing. I just took a little bit of lead and followed what they were doing, and realized, hey, this is like a very well possible outcome in life. If they're doing it, why can't I? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 1,000% I see that, and I know what you're saying just for the fact of, I know what you're saying, nerd. For the fact of my homies, you don't have to be 1,000% rich. You don't have to be 1,000% smart. You just have to be a not dick. As long as you're not an asshole. If you don't believe that you're better than the next person and your morals are oriented with God, then, you know, you're usually cool people to me. The only people that I would say I don't like around me are the people that are, you'll tell them a nice idea, yo, let's do this, bing, bam, boom, and they'll hit you with the, nah, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna happen. Who's somebody that you know, that you well respect, and why is the main reason you respect them?
Someone that I definitely respect a lot would have to be, we're talking like specific figure here?
Yeah, whoever. Like, it could be your uncle, it could be your mom, it could be your homie. Someone
that I definitely do respect a lot, after testing their character and seeing how they operate, would be Coach Kyle, a good friend of mine. You know, shout out to Coach Kyle. And yeah, I mean, he's always done what he said he's done. And he's always very analytical and specific to the detail. So every time something doesn't go the way the outcome he wants, he'll always bring it down to the nitty gritty, down to the ones and zeros, and see, all right, why did that happen, and how can I change that? Because you can't keep doing the same thing expecting different change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's the same thing with, you know, preparing yourself to not get scammed by a scammer. It's the same exact premise. What would you say his favorite thing about you is?
Well, his favorite thing about, one thing that I like about him a lot, my favorite thing is he owns up to his word. And I think these days a man's word is something that, whether you're broke or rich, is something that everybody has and can stick to. You know, you don't need to have $1,000 to hold up to your word unless you're making crazy promises that you can't hold. If I say I'm gonna get you flowers and I don't get you flowers, oh, okay, that's the same thing as saying I'm gonna get you I'm gonna take your family out the mud, and I'm not doing that either. It starts from something as little as, hey, I got you for lunch tomorrow, to, hey, maybe I don't got you for lunch tomorrow. And even then, that's completely fine, but it's a matter of being able to own up to your losses as well. Because if I say I'm doing something and I realize I can't do it, I'm gonna have to let you know that I can't do it. Yeah.
That's one thing that I definitely see. Always check the character of the people around you, because me and you, we are on our come up journey, right? We're on our way up. We're gonna get up there soon, real soon. You guys aren't gonna know how fast we hit. Again, I said it before, you're gonna call me and him an industry plant. So be it, you know? check the people around you. That's one thing that you definitely don't want around with the people that are coming with you up top, because they're gonna end up bringing you down. You wouldn't want somebody to risk you $10. Why would you want them to risk your $1 million company?
Yeah.
You have to always trust the people around you, and if you can't, get rid of them. Trust me, you're not gonna help them. If they're pulling down, you can't pull up. You guys are gonna stay in the same. It's gonna suck, and you're gonna be wasting your time.
And I like that you mentioned that if you're pulling up and they're pulling down, equal and opposite reaction balances out. You know what I'm saying? I really do think a man's word matters a lot, because you could accomplish so many things if you just take something one small win at a time. If you say you're gonna wake up early that day and you wake up early, that's already a win in my book. If you say you're gonna go hit the gym 4 days of the week and you do 4 days of the week, that's an even bigger win. And then it's kind of like the bank, compound interest. Every day, every meal that's not missed, every macro that's dialed in, every workout that's been lifted, it just builds you that discipline. Who is, Kurt? Who is Salead?
Right.
What do they value?
I would say that's truly one thing that separates the people that are able to go out and socialize with the people that skulk around. I noticed that a lot of people in our generation, and just overall today, besides our generation, the old heads, the young heads, us, they don't know how to go around and socialize anymore. When we first spoke, me and my brother were in the car listening to music. You came up, you're like, yo, bro, you guys freestyling? Yeah. That was cool. And it truly shows in your character that you're one of the 10% of people that actually take care of himself, follows his word, checks those macros, works out, and then there's another 90% of people that don't.
Yeah, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And if you're not feeling your best, if you are very closeted in, how do you expect to open others around you? You need to feel good to make others feel good. And that being said, when we did meet, that was a very cool moment, because at the time I didn't even know Hunter really that well. From any naked eye, it was just a car blasting music in a parking lot. Keep in mind, this was nighttime. I could have easily said, oh, they look like they're having fun. I'm just gonna go upstairs. I don't know them. But, one quick little, hey, yo, what's good? Led to me sitting in the car and rapping with you guys, which was very spontaneous, unplanned, and it just shows that you never know where doors lead, where opportunities lead.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to get into. If you want to go up to higher status and higher places, period, right? You're tired of being where you are and you just want the way up already. What are some things you could do to get in contact with people that are in those higher places you want to be in?
Naturally, hiring a mentor, hiring somebody that you very much like their position and you want to understand how they got there. A mentor will always help you cut the time in half nearly. The time it took for them to climb the mountain, it'll help you climb the mountain just as quick or quicker. Obviously, that's why your social group also matters a lot, because while they might not necessarily be your mentors, if they're all working towards the same goal that you have in mind, you guys are gonna get there in a quicker time as well, compared to being alone. Maybe somebody knows a bit of information that you don't. Maybe, Jason knows this piece, Kurt knows this piece. Together, they actually have half the story. You see what I'm saying? 25 plus 25 makes 50. But if you did it on your own, that's 10% every day? Why wait double the long, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If I'm able to make, have you ever watched Naruto? Probably not, I'm a nerd. Anyways, there's this group. It's called the Akatsuki. And they're basically like the villains of the entire series. All of them have different traits. All of them have the different powers that the other one slacks for. Kasame, he's strong as hell in the water, right? Everybody else is weaker in the water. Itachi has the visual prowess to make sure that he gets you in a genjutsu. This, that, and the third, blah, blah. Basically the same exact premise. Why wouldn't you want to surround yourself by a lawyer, and then a doctor, and then a dude that owns a construction site, and then bing, bam, boom. It's always good to build your own team. It's never gonna exactly work out. It's not gonna be a matter of, well, you're not a constructor, get away from me, but usually does. Because I believe in the energy you give into the universe, period, is the energy that you get back. So if you were to see a younger version of yourself that's not too good at attracting females, or you're afraid of women, period, what are some things that you could do to point out for yourself that you were younger?
Well, not to sound cocky, but I definitely do think that my younger self handled it the best way I could have, and I'm very, very happy about that. Meaning, no time wasted at all. I mean, I started practicing my social skills at the age of like 16, about to turn 17. And how did I start? For many of the other guys that are around that age or even older, but they're still willing to start. Because keep in mind, you're never too old to start anything. You know, I've met guys that began their self-development journey at the age of 28, 29. I've met guys that are still, 45, and they're still willing to open their mind and continue growing. Growing doesn't stop. Just because you're 30 doesn't mean you've hit the wall, You definitely need to put yourself out there and do what is least comfortable to you the most. So when I was 16, actually, this is literally my coming up story. When I was 16, 17, shout out to Hoboken, New Jersey, for anybody who knows where that place is. This is about back during the quarantine, where, let's say during 2020, was locked inside the house for about 6 months, had very strict parents, nothing wrong against that. They just wanted to make sure their children weren't getting COVID. So I stayed inside the house for 6 months, extreme distancing. And during that time, definitely became a little bit more slightly depressed. Not in a sense, oh, hope is lost, more in a sense, damn, all this time is being lost. How do I make up for this time? And that's when I got into self-development. I realized, all right, well, the world is gonna keep on spinning. Yeah, I lost 6 months of my life, half a year. People have it worse. There's people that get locked up, people that do something, go on the wrong track, or even the ones that don't do anything at all, don't take any action, and time goes by and they're not even aware about it. Whether you know it or not, you're losing time from the moment you set your mindset to a goal and you're not doing everything within your possibility to accomplish that goal. I'm a very firm believer in that. So going back to what I'm saying, locked inside for 6 months, realized I need to do better. I need to make up for this time lost. And that's when I discovered pickup, self-development, communication. And at the time, I was very socially anxious. I mean, you would be too. I feel like anybody would be when you have nobody to talk to and you've been locked inside the house for 6 months. I mean, half the world forgot how to communicate. And when we did communicate, we had masks to hide our faces because COVID. So it was very, who am I? What's my identity? Right? So it's a very funny story, actually. After beginning to learn my communication, learning the outside world, how life was pre-COVID, the communication, dating aspect, flirting, how to get a girl, whatever your priority was, one-night stands, whatever, rosters, I realized, communication is very important, and I'm horrible at it. How do I get better at it? So post-COVID, finally becoming outside the house, this is like maybe 2021, or halfway through 2020, 6 months in, I finally go out and I realize, hey, I need to get better at this. I'm gonna go to one of the most populated spots in my city, or at least where I could still find a hint of people walking around after COVID, and I'm gonna start talking to people. And it was funny because I remember going around talking to women wearing face masks, and in my mind I'm like, damn, are these girls even attractive? I can't see their face. It was a very weird period in life. But I was going out talking to people, getting rejected a fuck ton.
Right.
Because I did not know what I was doing. But I still needed that reference experience to go and talk to people and put myself out there and then learn what was I doing wrong and then improvise, adapt, and overcome. Yeah.
One thing, and I know I keep on saying one thing, but it's more so a matter.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was gonna ask, what is it that men don't understand in the sense of, I would say a woman completes a man. Are you able to go into detail on that? What is some aspects that men don't usually see that a woman does for him and her completion to him?
So from my experience and from everything that I've seen in life, I'm not gonna go on this podcast and say a man can just do everything he wants to do. I mean, yes, of course he can, but I'm not just gonna be one-sided. I'm not gonna say a man can do everything he wants to do without a girl. I mean, he can, but there's more to that. There's a bigger picture.
Right.
And I'm not gonna say that a woman could just do anything she wants without a man. Like I said, she can as well, but there's a bigger picture to that. We're putting ego aside. Yes, a guy can do everything, a girl can do everything, but there's something beautiful in a harmony when a guy finds a girl that supports him and when a girl supports a guy that supports her. Now, masculine, feminine energy. I think men being logical creatures, because we're very logical, and women are very emotional. They'll do things in the spur of the moment as long as it feels right to them. By that token, when a man needs some emotional connection, a girl will be there to hold him down. Sometimes a girl will be there to push him through rough moments when he thinks he might quit, because he just has that little bit of emotional stability that the girl provides, something to rely on. So what was your question, to cut back to?
Why is it that a king needs a queen?
Because it's kind of like this. A king can accomplish so much on his own. A queen can accomplish so much on her own. When the right king finds the right queen, you guys can do exponential.
It's true. You could lead an army. Start an army.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have like 80 kids. No, I'm playing. But if I wanted to double back to more so the fruitful side of college life, what do you think women like most about you?
Like
Random ones.
Like back in college life?
Yeah, like if you were out at a party,
right?
What is it that she likes about you? Is it the initial look, or is it the first break of ice?
So from the moment a girl lays her eyes on you, there are so many factors running through her head. So many, not to say judgmental or judging, but a woman has this automatic radar, subconsciously, whether she knows it or not, to judge a man by her perception of him. The rumors she's heard, the way he looks, the way he carries himself. And then, after sub-communication is gone, also his verbals, his communication itself. So when a girl sees you at a party or sees you out and about, is this guy walking straight? Is this guy walking chin up? Is this guy smiling? Is his hands in his pocket? Is he well-groomed? All these little things from the moment she finally gets to you. Does he smell good? Did he hold enough eye contact when he said hi? All these little things make or break your first impression. That is, if she hasn't even heard about you, if your reputation doesn't precede you.
Yeah.
So many little things could make or break your first impression, and then how you choose to continue that conversation. Now, can you, this is a question that you brought to my head that I just figured I might as well answer as well, because it's very related. Now, the question is, can you have a bad first impression? Can you have a bad first impression, but still overcome that bad first impression and still win the girl over? Yes, you can. Because you can just manage your conversation skills and flirt here, negatively tease her here, and go from there.
Yeah. I'm starting to brain fart. You want to take 5? That was a fire shoot. I liked it. Did you like the flow of that? Do you want like an upper pace? Do you want a slower pace? More energy, more professional?
I like it a lot. It was really good. It's recording. All right, let's finish strong.
Yes, indeed.
Feels more comfortable coming back here. It definitely does feel more comfortable. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
it does. I'm starting to scatterbrain. So let's start off with. I completely forgot what the fuck we were talking about.
We're relating to dating.
Oh, okay,
relating to
okay.
dating, hardships, obstacles. Put yourself in the mindset of somebody that's like doesn't know anything that they're doing, but they want to get somewhere,
Fire.
or common pitfalls of guys, stuff like that.
Let's do it. 3, 2.
Action.
So if you were to say that there's some guys out here that they're hitting a rough patch in their relationship, whether it's just dating or it's marriage, most times it's during the engagement because that's when a lot of stuff goes wrong. What would you tell the man that's going through that?
Wait, say that one more time. I wasn't.
So
I stopped
sometimes there's rough patches in relationships. What are some ways to get past those, and what are some things that usually makes the rough patches in the relationships?
So, usually when there's rough patches in the relationship, it's because a side is at fault. Yeah, I know, the fly is going crazy. All right, let's start again. 3, 2, 1. So usually when there's, honestly, you can just say it one more time, sorry.
Bang, bam, boom, yo, Salead. So there's usually some rough patches in relationships. What are some things that gets you there, and what are some things that gets you past that?
So usually when there's rough patches in a relationship, it's either one side is at fault or the other, maybe even a mix of both. Now, if a guy lets a girl get away with too many things, then the girl could abuse that. And usually it's a judge of character. For example, if a guy doesn't ever check his girl when she starts becoming disrespectful, or if she gets out of line and he never addresses it, that little, that little miss in the relationship could become something a lot bigger down the line, such as the person being unfaithful and not worrying too much about the repercussions of cheating. So there's always a bigger butterfly effect, you would say.
Would you say that women cheat more or men cheat more?
Really juicy question. And honestly, it's really hard to answer. I think for sure, if you have to look at this from the nitty-gritty down to the line, an attractive girl will get more eyes or will get more attention from men compared to the average guy, right? I mean, these days, I think women definitely have their own platform online, especially if you're a really attractive woman in your mid to late 20s. Social media, for example, Instagram, has become a platform where so many women can just go online, post a bikini picture, and become...
I'm so sorry. That shit is okay.
Oh, good, oh, good.
3, 2. I know that has to get cut.
No, well, I'll cut it. Don't worry, I'll cut it. So as I was saying, Instagram has become a platform where, if you're an attractive woman in your mid to late 20s, you could hop on there and gain a following within a week, maybe even overnight if you're really, really good looking,
Right.
So it's just a matter of temptation and what opportunities present yourself and how much do you value your own character.
Right. Now, say there's somebody that's new to the dating pool and they don't really know what to do and they lack everything. They haven't even held a hand before. What are some stepping stones?
Well, honestly, it's just a matter of self-development. So the idea of going to the gym, taking care of your priorities, making sure you have stable income coming in, that you're taking care of your body, and then also your communication and nonverbals. All that grooming, communication. You have to worry about all the stuff where you could worry about a whole nother human being, which is, a lot more extensive, a lot more problematic, a lot more, requires a lot more emotional stability and maturity.
Right.
So for somebody and for anybody watching this podcast that is trying to get into the dating life, you have to ask yourself, what value do I bring to somebody else's life? How much do you respect your own life before you even begin to include yourself in somebody else's? Because if you don't got it together, you're definitely not going to have it better with somebody else in it.
So do you believe that it's possible to find somebody while you're still technically worthless? Like in a material sense?
I think you're going to attract, hard to say, because at that point, it's just determined on your character. Let's say you don't got anything going for you, but you got strong, good character. Maybe in that cold moment of your life, you may find somebody that you actually really need. There's a catchphrase that goes on. When you're at your all-time low, you find the person that you need. You find the girl that you need. When you're at your all-time high, you could get all the girls that you want. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think there's some beauty in that. But like I said, it's also dependent on your character.
I was going to say, what is post-clarity? And does it only stand for when those gremlins are sitting in their room and they're just, like, how does that end up working out? Is that a thing for everything, or? I
think so. The idea of post-clarity, the idea of wanting something so bad, and then the moment you get something, you get hit with a moment of clarity. That's only for the weak-minded. So the moment you throw everything, all your beliefs, all your worries, all that out, and you're just focused on one thing, that tunnel vision is great. But the problem is you start skewing your beliefs. All right, yeah, I really want to get with this girl. You got with the girl. You get hit with an immense post-clarity. That means something that you were doing before and after is not in tune with what you value. Before that, oh, I really want to get with this girl. That's not speaking from a higher mindset. That's speaking from you just being thirsty.
Lustful, yeah.
Lustful. And the reason so many guys get hit with this post-clarity, oh, yeah, I wanted to get with her, but now, like, I don't really see her the same way. I'm going to stop talking to her. It's a big problem. And a matter of fact that you're not only hurting your own character, but you're also playing with somebody else's mindset, someone else's brain.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people get led on. Have you been led on? And, how did you work through it?
I think I've been led on a numerous amount of times. And this goes for me. This goes for any guy out there that's in his pickup or self-development journey. The moment you start getting attention from girls You got to ask yourself, is it good attention or is it bad attention? You know, is there a reputation that precedes you and that's why they're hitting you up? Or are they hitting you up just on the sole fact that you have nothing going on but you're very attractive? Why are they talking to you? And then you got to ask yourself, what character are you speaking with? Are you talking to a sorority girl? Are you talking to a girl that has a career going on for her life, or, you know, A to Z, right? Getting led on will build your character in a sense that the moment you realize you are getting led on and that it's leading to absolutely nothing, you get this flame lit underneath you. Damn, I got to do better than this. I just wasted more time. Similar to how, you know, going back to what I said at the earlier beginning of this podcast, during quarantine, when I was, not to say led on, but, you know, metaphor here, I was led on in the sense that I was stuck inside the house for 6 months. Time wasted. When you get led on, you're also losing your time. That's when I was motivated enough to hop into self-development and learn my communication skills and become a better person. So yeah, it's either you hire a mentor and you avoid these pitfall stops, or go through them and learn from them.
I know somebody that while you were speaking right there, I kind of got a glimpse of him while you were speaking. I was like, oh, his name is Josh. Shout out No Name Podcast. I want him to be on the show next. Him and you would have such a DNA pattern of flow, because he has the exact same thing. He has the same exact ideas and space in his brain along the lines of, if you're willing to see that you're getting led on, then you're gonna, you know, not get led on as much. So I was gonna say, besides all of that, there's usually a certain kind of dude that's getting tricked. What would you say are the things in that dude that lead him to getting tricked?
I think the guys that can even afford to get tricked, you know, and for those not watching, the definition of tricked, you know, it's when a guy spends an overly excessive amount of money on a girl. You know, he starts buying her bags, Louis Vuitton bags. He starts buying, you know, all these extra things that is very materialistic. If you can afford to get tricked, you definitely have your financials in order. But the problem is with getting tricked or tricking on a girl is that the only thing you have to value? The only thing of value you have to offer? Are you just a big wallet, a walking wallet? You pay her bills, you get her bags, you get her everything. Her friends know you as, oh, he the trickster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or do you have more to offer than that? Because I think the moment you have a position in her life other than financial, you know, she goes to you for emotional support. She sees you as a big figure in her life. You know, you guide her a lot. That's when tricking doesn't necessarily become tricking. It's more like you're just kind of taking care of your girl or taking care of someone you value in your life.
Yeah.
Because think about it this way: if I'm like paying for my bills for my family, I'm not tricking. I mean, the bills will be a few $1,000s, but that's a whole different concept.
That's a whole different thing. We're talking in the sense of, this is a girl that you just went and dating, whatever, and even just like, if this is your F buddy, right? Your friend with a benefit, you could get tricked by those. I don't think necessarily you can by the woman of your life, your wife, the woman that had your kids. That's not at that point, it's no longer that, because it's two whole separate worlds. We're talking in a matter of getting to know somebody and being one with somebody. How do you see your future wife being?
I see my future wife being very emotionally connected in what she values in her life. She has morals and principles that she will never step over or break. You know, if she has goals, she sticks by those goals. She doesn't throw them out the window. Like I said earlier in the podcast, character is one thing that anybody, regardless of how much money you have, you could have a good character. So the moment you stand on principle, that's when you have something worth the value.
Heard him. Money can't unlame you. If you're lame and you're lame, you know, I'm completely brain farting now. I'd say that my tank is at 0. Let's get a part 2 going sooner than later.
I like that.
How about it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Dave, thank you. Salead. Salead Speaks. Shout out him. Shout out Main Event for letting us do this here at the center. Come through to Woodbridge Mall. It's the Real Cucka, and I'm see y'all later.
Thank you.
Thank you.